Hi. In our previous video, we talked about a definition of compassion as we use it in CFT, involving two components, being sensitive to suffering and being motivated to move toward that suffering, to work to alleviate it and prevent it in the future. I want to talk a little bit more about compassion and some obstacles that can come up with clients when we're working on compassion. When we're working with our clients, obviously one goal of compassion-focused therapy is to help them cultivate a compassionate stance toward the suffering and pain in their own lives and hopefully in the lives of others as well. And when we're doing that, there can commonly be some obstacles that come up. Now later we'll be talking about what we call fears of compassion, people who actually have resistance or reluctance to extending kindness to themselves or to others or feeling connected with others, usually because in the past they've learned to associate affiliation with threat rather than safeness. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But right now I'd like to talk about some initial resistance people can sometimes have when they hear this word compassion, because a lot of people seem to associate that with being weak or self-indulgent or just kind of fluffy, cotton candy, airy-fairy kind of stuff. Now, one of the things we want to do in CFT is to facilitate a shift in their understanding of compassion so they can move from whatever that perspective is that there's maybe some resistance around to an understanding of compassion as a form of strength. Actually, the CFT for anger group that I developed is called True Strength. And the reason for this is that the idea is that compassion is the strength of being able to face whatever difficulty or problem or struggle might show up in our lives, rather than turning away and avoiding the things that scare us or make us sad or anxious. And that's a way a lot of us actually use anger to do. A lot of the people I work with, they use anger in those sorts of ways. Rather than doing that, we want to help people understand that compassion gives them a way to directly face the things that trouble them and to work with them directly and actively so they can make improvements in their lives. So that's one of the shifts we want to facilitate in CFT. And what I find is then when my clients can see that, when I ask them Socratic questions around, for example, the function of their anger or the other things that they do to avoid. So for example, people who struggle with anger will quite often move very quickly after an anger outburst to blaming the other person, which we can see as a form of avoidance, right? So they attack somebody out of anger, the other person shows sign of being hurt and withdraws, and then many of these folks have a very acute sort of burst of shame that comes up, and then they move very quickly oftentimes to avoidance. And so and blaming behavior and things like this. And so when you do a functional analysis around those sorts of behaviors, you find that there's a real avoidant quality to that. And the idea is that compassion is not only a way of interacting with ourselves and others that is kinder and more assertive in some ways, but it also helps them move from that perspective of avoiding the things that are difficult to one of approaching with a kind, assertive quality to be able to work with whatever the struggle is. Now, this is particularly important when it comes to doing self-compassion work with people who carry a lot of shame, because a lot of times what we're asking our clients to face are the things that they like least about themselves, the things that bother them about themselves, the things about them that don't at all fit with the sort of person they want to be. And I think it's important to understand that when we're helping them facilitate self-compassion, that's what we're asking them to do. We're asking to turn toward the pain and turn toward the suffering, and that actually is a really courageous act. So we want to help them recognize that. We want to help them recognize that actually what we're asking them to do by cultivating compassion and giving compassion to themselves requires a lot of courage, and it requires a lot of willingness to engage with things that they'd rather not engage in, but to engage with kindness and encouragement and a will to help themselves have better lives. So that'll be it for now. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.